and they've offered the Palestinians a viable state on numerous occasions, and the Palestinians have
Right.
turned it down and turned to terror at every turn. Uh, this is, this is a story that can't be supported by the evidence, period. And the same thing is true with regard to Gaza.
Right.
The Israelis had no interest in turning Gaza into Dubai on the Mediterranean. In fact, what they wanted to do was, put the Palestinians in Gaza in a giant prison and inflict massive pain on them.
You've called Israel an apartheid state, which I obviously have done too, and I got fired for saying that. But you've called Israel an apartheid state, and you've said that they're engaging in genocide. And you actually called Netanyahu. You said about Netanyahu that he basically represents Jim Crow. So can you expand on that?
Well, those are three different issues. Let's just take them in
Sure.
turn. With regard to whether or not Israel is an apartheid state, anybody who has any doubt about that should read the Human Rights Watch report, the Amnesty International report, and the B'Tselem report on this very issue. Uh, these are extensive reports, thoroughly documented, done by extremely competent and honest and smart individuals. And I don't see how anybody could come away from reading those reports without thinking that Israel is an apartheid state. I would
Well, they'll
also
say that Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch are anti-Semitic. That's what some people say. It gets harder though when you throw in B'Tselem, which I guess would be self-loathing according to the logic of people who call those organizations anti-Semitic.
well, as you know, the term anti-Semitic is thrown around so
Of course,
loosely
yeah.
that
Right.
anybody who criticizes Israel is an anti-Semite. I
Right.
know that you and I are both well-known
Right.
anti-Semites.
Yes.
It's just, it's kind of crazy where
It
we
is
are.
now. The nice thing about B'Tselem.
I could give you a list of probably about 8 Israeli
Right.
senior figures who have said Israel is an apartheid state.
Right.
This is an argument that
Yeah.
you hear in Israel quite often. Uh, Bishop Tutu, right, who, of course, lived in apartheid South Africa, came to Israel and said it was an apartheid state. He and others like Ronnie Kasrils, who was a very prominent South African Jew, who was a major force during the apartheid era in South Africa. He and Bishop Tutu both said that what you saw in Israel, what they saw in Israel, was worse than apartheid in South Africa.